me see here. Okay. Yeah, everything is okay. Here we go. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I never can tell. I never can tell. Sucks. Okay, so you can hear me. That's a good thing. I was just gonna come on really fast and tell, because all night my software. I don't know. I'm not really sure what exactly is going on with the software. No, I haven't turned that on yet. Hold on. My sweet little angel eyes. I love my sweet. Have to have some sort of intro, or it doesn't feel natural. Not that it feels natural anyway, because it's been FUBAR all night. If you know what FUBAR means, it doesn't quite fall under the no F's and stuff. But yeah, it's true. Ah, there it is. There we go. I don't know what's been going on, man. Yeah, it means lots of F's. That's true. And it deservedly so. But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs. I hate, and I know hate is a strong word, and if there was a stronger word, then I would probably use it. But I hate StreamYard so much that I am willing to put up with the connectivity issues. And cutting streams off, starting streams before I even am ready to go live. And so I have been sort of, well, not sort of, I've been kind of testing it, and it sucks. It's not going. I don't know. There's not a stream software that is that good, to be honest with you. Are you really here this time? I'm here. I'm here because I felt bad, honestly. I know that it was like 6 different times. That wasn't really how it was supposed to go. So I really do feel bad. And so I thought I would just come on here and say, hi, sorry. Yeah, Molly Golightly broke YouTube on her way out. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up back with. I would not be surprised if she comes back. And I don't have an opinion about it either way, really. But yeah, maybe she did. Would make sense. It would make sense. Celeste appreciates the persistence. Yeah. Some call it that. Some call it stubborn. And then some call it just dumb. Like, I'm okay with every one of those descriptions because I'm not really sure. But, you know, the thing about, and not that anybody cares about streaming software, but Streamlabs is a very interactive. Oh, yeah, I had to put tape over my camera. It's just been like, it's just like an Edward Snowden nightmare. It's just, yeah, it's been a mess. It's the Freedom Act, espionage, you know, CIA. It's been a bit different. So, yeah, but it feels sort of enemy of the state ish, if that makes any sense. So, and like I said, I felt bad because it happened like while I was fooling around with it. It went live like 6 different times, and I kept getting these messages from a lot of you people that even in the chat right now, and which, by the way, I completely appreciate. Thank you so much. I'm typically aware when it happens, but yeah, things do. Typically, like I said, I'm pretty aware. Typically, but I haven't been aware a couple of times when the live just cut out on its own. I find that preposterous and annoying. You know? But yeah, and by the way, I saw Owl Guy kind of poke his head around. What was going on there? Did anybody see Owl Guy? I saw him a little bit for a minute. Is he upset again? I mean, is that what? I hope not. Ah, well, yeah. Okay, so I wasn't seeing things. Well, yeah. Yesterday was like it was a good show. I enjoyed doing it. I thought the show itself was fine, but for some reason, it was tough waters. And that's another thing is that I think it's like a small percentage of the people that watch are actually in the chat. And there are people that actually do shows that do not have the chat on at all, which I find incredible in a lot of different ways. And I'm sort of envious of that at times. The times when people say, this isn't funny, I'm out of here, or move on, you know, things like that. You need to move on. And so, but for the most part, like I like interacting with the live viewers for the most part. But yeah, the public exits and the I don't know, the demand. I don't know. I don't know why I feel the way I do about that, but I'm not particularly fond of it. I would rather let things organically, like if I'm in the middle of talking about something, even if it's not necessarily a popular topic, that's what I do. Like we're talking and I want to get through it. It was like the lady that called in, the deer blind lady, and she was like, okay, well, are we going to have a this or that? And I was just telling her, like, I know how to have a conversation. And of course the conversation is directed by me because I have a show that I'm trying to do. So that's to be understood. And I don't, you know, I just, it's odd to me sometimes. Like there are going to be things that I talk about that you're not going to agree with. And I think for the most part, people understand that we agree on a lot of things, but nobody agrees on everything. Nobody agrees on everything. And if they do, that's weird. You know, but the demands and the move on, change the subject, don't talk, you know, and then the whole threatening, I'm going to unsubscribe. I'm going to cancel my membership. I'm going to do this and that, like in a very public forum, or, you know, it's just, it's disruptive. It's rude. It's not really, it's not conducive to anything. And so I didn't like that, you know. I didn't like that. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see the manager. Well, I mean, you're unfortunately you're dealing with them already. I don't know if we have a Karen alert, but like not necessarily. No, I don't think so. I think that it's just people do become part of the show, part of the mystique or whatever of this show, particularly the shows that I do live. I make it a habit to interact with the chat. And by the way, it's not that easy to do. It's easier to just stay on a subject and not read the chat and not have reactions to the chat, or to kind of go off on a sidebar with the chat. And so it's not that easy. There's a lot of people, when they do the shows, they just go. And so, which is understandable, because it's you know, they're like, oh, they're not paying to the chat. I'm paying to the chat. I sent you this. You got to read this. And you know, it's not as easy as one might think. But I do read the chat while I'm making points. I do highlight chats while making points and try to have interaction while doing it, and and if it becomes too much of a problem, like, it'll have to change the way of the show. And I like the show the way that it is, but I'm not gonna like make people part of the show, or kind of not even make them part of the show, but interact with them. And then them, have a freak out and leave, and make a big deal about it. And to be honest, this whole I'm unsubscribing, or you just lost a sub. I've heard that so many, like I've lost lots of subs before, unfortunately. And, it's kind of part of it. I think everybody that does any kind of subscription based platform understands that you gain, you lose, you this, you that. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of reasons a lot of people decide to either follow or not follow or come back. Or I've had a lot of people come back. I've had a lot of people apologize for things that, have transpired or whatever. Or how they felt about me at a certain time. And but that's the thing, is that I don't blame anybody. You're not obligated to follow. By no means. It's very optional. And if you don't like the content, or even the theme of the show, or if you don't even like the topic of discussion, or if you don't like my take on it, it's okay, because I'll tell you what, very, very rarely am I so tied to an idea that I don't want anything to do with somebody that disagrees with me. I simply don't care that much, but I do have my own opinion about things. And when I talk about them, that's kind of part of what we're doing. This is kind of what we do. And I think about it sometimes, like if you're in an auditorium and there's a play going on and you don't like the play or whatever it is, I don't know, it could be anything. Passover, or the Lord's Supper, and you're like, I don't like this unleavened bread that you purchased. I'm out of here. I mean, would anybody really, would somebody, I mean, maybe they would, but if they did, they would be laughed at, mocked, and then just been like, but when you have to like put your face to it, when you have to like face people, when you do stuff like that, it's a little more difficult to do. It's a little bit more difficult to deal with. And unfortunately, it's been happening more often. Some of the shows, but not here's the thing about this, is that I don't mind if anybody leaves. I never, you have a right to watch whatever you want if you don't want it. But I don't need to hear about it. Neither does anybody else. And that's disappointing because it happens more often than I would like. And I don't think that it's I don't think that it's proper, but once again, that's how I feel about it. And I don't know, just happens a lot. And to be honest with you, a lot of people that do that kind of stuff get blocked. And I typically, if somebody's like, you know what, I'm leaving, I don't like this, I don't like that, I'm just usually like, all right, sorry. Very sorry. And I'm like, maybe they're having a bad day, stressed out about something, people that I would never really think would have a problem, do sometimes. But there's not a lot I can do about that, if that makes any sense. It's a show. I talk, I give my opinion. You're gonna agree with me sometimes. Sometimes you're not gonna agree with me. But the best part about the whole thing is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're, and when I say it doesn't matter, it might matter to you if somebody's a Republican or a Democrat. It might matter to you somebody's stance on abortion, Christianity, Satanism, whatever. Those things may be important to you, and you may want to die on that hill with your beliefs and your convictions, and if you feel that it's necessary for you to stand up to the tyranny of people that say bad things about your views. But this isn't the place, and I don't care. I really don't care at all. And I just don't. I don't care who the president is. I'm not particularly fond of politics. I respect everybody's religion. I'm not the Book of Satan. I kind of have a problem with, but once again, I'm not that worried about it. So I don't know. I mean, and hopefully this kind of makes sense, and hopefully this stream doesn't just cut right off. See, I usually believe in your theories or whatever, but if I don't, it's not the end of the world. And it shouldn't. And I appreciate that. Like I said, a lot of people will watch because we're like-minded, but that doesn't mean that we have the same exact mind. It was one of the sayings that I always, like those corny Cracker Jack box, actually not even Cracker Jack, like not Cracker Jacks at all. I think that's more of a prize. I guess it would be a fortune cookie or whatever. So like a fortune cookie, you know, you're never too young or old. And I disagree with that. You're too young to do a lot of things, and you're certainly too old to do a lot of things. But the one thing that is very, one of the things that I just hate the most is that saying, great minds think alike. And while I somewhat agree with that, with what that says, like great minds think alike, but I've always thought that great minds think for themselves. And I'm very pro that. Let me see what's on the. Yeah, I can change the title of this. I just hit live. Let's just change this to, I guess this is 45, right? This counts as 45. This is 45. So let's see if that helps. Most people think that I'm not live because it's been happening all night. And then yesterday, I think the stream died once yesterday, and it almost died a second time, but somehow that one, it chugged itself out. Yeah, 45 3/4 exactly. Yeah, you absolutely can ignore it. Yeah, the whole, I don't know. Maybe I feel different. Do you notice though how those great minds don't mind living, being alone with themselves? First, I guess it depends, like what you consider a great mind. I was more thinking of like the Einsteins and the Socrates and the. I'm not convinced that Stephen Hawking is as smart as people said he was, but I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was a million times smarter than me. So I guess it's not really important. Stephen Hawking's. But yeah, they're most people. Yes, they can be very difficult people, artists, or creative people. I don't know. I'm none of those things. I'm just Josh. I'm not Jim Belushi. I'm not Wolfman Jack. I'm not. I can do some voices and stuff like that, and I'm chubby with a beard. Like. But yeah. I think did my I don't know if If I'm I don't know. Maybe I am a little bit. That's funny. Tiny Tumbleweed, what's going on? Look at Peyton. Peyton loaded this soundbite. Gang, gang, gang. I like that one. I don't know what it means, but I like it. Well, I like you guys too. Gang, gang, gang. I do. I do. I look a lot like myself. Always have since birth. Gang, gang, gang. Hello, Teresa. How are you? Yeah, beautiful soundbite. Thank you, Peyton, for that wonderful soundbite. That comes courtesy of Smiley from Over the Top from OVO Records. Gang, gang, gang. That's funny. I kind of like it. Kind of like it. Someone who can write that beautiful poem for Sweet Summer is very talented. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very much so. Yeah, thanks, Peyton. Shout out to... Is that right? That makes sense. Everything else blows out around you. but the eyes, they never change. I don't know if they change or not. They very well may change. Josh, you have the best hair. Do I? I don't think so, but I do accept and note your compliment. Thank you. I don't have the worst hair. I'm good with that. As long as I don't have the worst hair. But, you know, there's a lot of other deficiencies that I have. Luckily, my hair isn't at this moment one of them. However, I am starting to gray up in the beard. Gang, gang, gang. And so... You know, it's one of those things where you're like looking in the mirror and you're like, is that a wrinkle? Like from, you start to notice, you know, but like I'm completely and utterly, okay with getting older. Big time. It's like better than the alternative, you know. It's much better than the alternative. Nah, no ear hair. I don't think so. I'm not Walter Matthau. I don't have like hairy ears. Walter Matthau has hairy ears, right? Is that right? Oh man, you're like You got one foot in the grave. Jeez. 35. I just found out the other day. Does anybody remember that show Boy Meets World? Yeah, you can't do that. Remember Boy Meets World? I just found out that Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World is 96 years old. Still kicking. Well, I mean, you never watched the Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men? That's true, Meep. I've heard that before. I thought everybody's does, though. Nah, I don't think I do have quote unquote ear hair. I'm pretty in tune with my ear holes. Gang, gang, gang. So, you know, I would notice if I had hair growing out of two orifices that I check on regularly. Yeah, it's not, I don't just ignore my ears. There's something that I kind of look into, you know. I check them. Hey, what's going on? And anything good? Anything good going on in there, guys? No? All clear? We get a little ear candle action going on. And a little ear action? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't have hairy ears. I'm positive. Like I said, I'm in tune with my ear holes. If you're not in tune with your ear holes, you're not in tune with anything. The ears let you know. By the way, no, I will absolutely not check them any different than I already do check them. I will check them exactly the same as I did last night, as I already have tonight. And I'll check them again tomorrow. Who's very good at flossing? I saw your ear and it looked like ZZ Top. I'm good at flossing. I absolutely, well, you can do it yourself. But like I said, I'm in tune with my ear holes. And, yeah, well, that's true. Flossing is like one of, there's no doubt about it. Flossing is one of the things that brings me major joy in my life. Major joy. You know, brushing your teeth isn't hard. Flossing isn't hard. People that don't, you know, prisoners of war, one of the things that they're told is to really, really like take care of their teeth, clean their teeth however they can, whether it be, even if it's like a rag or something, but keep your teeth clean. And that's not just brushing, but that's flossing and massaging the gums. You got to do it all. Everything from start to finish. Yeah, I don't really want to think about it either. Matter of fact, let me see. I'll show you this right here. Just I keep this little thing just next to me. I think so. I've heard of something like that. But so like I have this like sack right here, just sits next to my desk. I have one of these in my car. So it's got a mixture of the little We've officially jumped the shark. What time is it? I gotta know. I've got to know the time. It's 2:00 here on the West Coast. And I'm showing you what I use to clean my teeth. This bad boy, coupled with the bottom. Okay. So this is beautiful for flossing. You know, if you've ever had an issue with bad breath, your issue is typically going to be that you're not flossing or flossing well. And you should probably floss every single night before bed. You just should. And then I keep these bad boys on standby. These are called wisps. And you don't need water. You don't need anything. You don't need anything at all. You just need this and this, and you're good to go. Now, I can't wait to use these before I go to bed too. But then you also hit it with well, it's 2 a.m. on the West Coast, and we have 81 viewers. Is that a lot? I don't think... Is that a lot? But, you know, it's just, you know, it's like... It's a really... You really want to get in there and you want to dig. It helps you sleep. At least me. I don't know. I can't go to bed like that. But, yes, I'm a very diligent flosser, as Linda noted, and that's a fact. No, I don't want to teach Candace anything. Wicked's at 5 a.m. around my place. Coffee's hot. Well, yeah. Yesterday, was it yesterday? I went to bed. I was working on a couple videos, and time got away from me. So by the time I got into bed, it was like 4 a.m. And then I didn't go to sleep until like 6. And then I woke up at 9. And it's like, dude, Have you ever been so tired that your stomach hurt? That's what that happened. Like, it was like, I get up and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. My stomach actually hurts. Oh, do I need to mod? Let me see. Where you at, Matt? Where'd you go? Where did Matt go? 2 a.m. in SoCal. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I don't think so. No, I'm tired. Like, it's a weird feeling. I'm not tired at the moment. Oh, there you are, Matt. Sorry. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're right. It is wake drunk. That's exactly what it is. That's a great way to put it. But that's exactly what happens. It was like the most awful. Like, you wake up and I don't even know how to explain it. It's but you know, but I think you know. Like, you know, but you don't know. It's an out of body. It's kind of like being abducted by aliens, or how it would feel after you're returned after you've been abducted by aliens. Sans the probing. Like it says, it's 5 a.m. here. Can't sleep. Thanks for the company. I'm up every 2 hours. Every freaking night. I work graveyard. So, oh yeah, I worked graveyard for a few years, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I worked from 11 to 7 a.m. for like 2 years at a hotel, and it sucked ass. And it wasn't even like a cool job. It was just like a janitorial thing, like maintenance type stuff. It sucked. It's like the worst. So, if you've never worked graveyard shift, you don't know what, well, I wouldn't say you wouldn't know what tired is, but I think you would. But yeah, graveyard is like, it's a whole different animal. I'm eating when 4 a.m. hits graveyard shift. I remember the first or second night. This guy that was training me, his name was Greg. And Greg was legitimately the best janitor of all time. I can't tell you what it was that made him the best janitor of all time, but he just was. And everybody knew it. Like, he was the Iron Chef of janitors. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. And the way that he worked, and it wasn't even like he worked like super fast. He just worked steady. He knew like what needed to be done when it needed to be done. Lucas was the worst janitor of all time, Linda. Literally, like, there couldn't be bigger polar opposites. Lucas was the worst janitor of all time. Greg was the greatest janitor of all time. And but Greg absolutely was the best janitor. He was just a great worker. And it was really funny because when performance reviews would come around, like, everybody would get terrible performance reviews. They would just suck. Like, it would be like, you know, you get like 2s out of 5. And they're like, you know, like 2's not bad, but, you know, there's some things that you could do better, like, you know, showing up on time. And I'm not talking about me per se, but whatever the thing was, if, you know, you could do this duty better, or you could do that, or you could do this. I remember Greg got out, and there was a lot of people that worked at this hotel. And basically everybody got a crappy review except for Greg. He got a perfect review every time, which he deserved. And I think nobody even questioned, like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, you know. Guy knows what he's doing. And yeah, he was great at it. But I remember when he was training me, and you know, for the first couple days, you're just like, no, he wasn't actually. Not at all. He was just a salt of the earth, hardworking dude that had no shame. Like, I was kind of even embarrassed at that age, like, to be a janitor and, like, push a janitor cart around. And he actually taught me that it didn't matter, you know, what people thought. That, you know, you were just doing your job, and that's okay. That's enough, was to just do your job and do it well. You don't have to be sorry to Greg. Greg's fine. Actually, he's not really, but he's sick now, unfortunately, and it sucks. I think I saw him about 6 months ago. Not doing very well. He was diagnosed with cancer. So anyway, but yeah, he taught me a lot. But yeah, that grave shift was tough business, man. I'll tell you that. You get used to it, but I don't know if you can actually ever really get used to it. Lily, I have no idea. I don't know. He's doing the smart thing, I think. Letting it die down. But I don't know. I don't know what happened with it. Mia Bella, what's up? How are you? Yeah. Tap. You're right. Well, I mean, it was absolutely a great attitude. And at the time, I had very small children, and I needed work. And so I did it for a couple of years, actually, and I'm totally okay with that. Always have been. I would be okay with it now too. There's definitely oh my God. I'm so sorry to hear oh. That's never yeah. Mm. That sucks. I do hope yep, Matt. Absolutely. It was a great learning lesson. It was a humbling experience, and I worked my ass off. And any job that I ever had, I always worked my ass off, forever, always. Yeah, that's just terrible. That's very, very terrible. Hmm. That's oh my God. I was so thankful for that job. And for every job that I ever have had, have always been thankful. Um, yeah, I never had I never had a bad job. I just, some I didn't care for as much, but each one of those jobs contributed to me taking care of my family. And so that, I believe, was the right thing. And it was a good thing. I mean, I worked at I think my first job was like McDonald's or maybe it was a sushi restaurant. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. Hold on one second. Uh, uh, I'm opening. One second. All right. My first job was at McDonald's. Dude, you want to talk about it? You're, oh my God. People do not understand how hard of a job McDonald's is. And when I worked at McDonald's, for some stupid reason, on my application, I put that I wanted to work the grill. And here was the thing. I thought that working the grill is something that most people didn't really want to do. Like, I think everybody wants to kind of like take the orders or work the window or I don't know. And but what they don't tell you is when you work the grill, you work the fryers the fry you have to, they call it working both sides. And you have to work the grill and you have to work the fryers as well. And it's the worst. It sucks. And I remember the guy, well, I don't know his name, but I don't remember his name. But oh my God, it was like, and then they had these lights. It was like I don't know if this happened at any other McDonald's location, maybe, but it would have red light, yellow light, green light. And when it was the green light, is they were wanting you to put food in the tray, so you would like do the patties or the and then you drop chicken, and you wanted the trays full during the green light, and during the yellow light, it was like, you know, you slow down a little bit. And then when the red light was like, you know, everybody like chill out, and then it would go to, it was nuts. The hardest job I've ever had, like, besides roofing. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Marshmallow. I might have been the one that served you. I'm not sure. I've had stuff like that happen too. Hold on. Did somebody say they're where? Palm Springs? Is that what somebody just said? Well, enjoy your vacation. My McDonald's was short staffed. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Josh said I'd share this since we're on topic. My first boss was Terry Hobbs from the West Memphis 3. Oh, is that right? What'd you think of him? I know Terry pretty well now. I've always found him to be a pretty nice, level-headed guy. But I never worked for him. Dude, our Burger King is the worst. Yeah, I am curious to. He sends me a Christmas card too every Christmas. Last job was at Harley Davidson in Fort Myers. Yeah. Yeah. I've just always, any conversation I've ever had with the guy, and anybody that I've ever really honestly talked to him that actually knew him says a lot of the same things. You know, he's just a country guy and living in the Ozarks, and found himself in a mess that I truly would put my life on that he had nothing to do with. I spent $20. The Whopper is different because it has that flame broiled. So when I started nursing, we used to, isn't that crazy? Can you send me an email at labratarmy@gmail.com. If you tell me, yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit. I really do like the guy. I always have. And anyway, well, I'm gonna get going. I wanted to just come on and because I felt bad. Rap Trap Gangsta 222. I'm taking off as soon as she gets in here. I'm sorry about that. But that has nothing to do with you. What's going on, Lex? It's good to see you as well. I don't know. I saw your question earlier. I believe the trial resumes today, and then the Lori Vallow was, what was it? Opening statements, and then the Letitia Staunch. Josh, you changed my opinion on the West Memphis 3. Yeah. One of the biggest, in my opinion, farces of all time in the criminal justice system. And I hated it, and I still hate it. Appreciate that. I also kind of wanted to test and see if no issues tonight after turning on and off 7 or 8 different times. Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. Yep, it's a good time. It's a good show. Thank you guys for being so kind. Did they tell you Al Guy was here at the first? Yeah, I heard. No, I don't think so either. But one of the things that they say is, well, he shot Pam's brother. Well, yeah, he certainly did do that. It's a far stretch. And he shot him because they were in a fight, and I think he thought he was going to get killed. I'm glad that he didn't. Yeah, I won't. See you guys. See you tomorrow.